Hi folks. With the idea of quartiles in our repertoire now, we're looking for a nice way to graph them, and we shall look no further than box and whisker plots. So, in order to talk about box and whisker plots, we're going to need some information about a five-number summary of a distribution. And the five-number summary includes a minimum and a maximum, a median, and then the first and third quartile. And then we just write those in order from smallest to largest, and that's how they actually appear written here. However, the way we just mentioned it is actually how we'll perform our calculations. So let's look at the following example where we have tons of bluefin tuna caught in the Mediterranean Sea over the past 11 years, where the leaves of the stem plot represent thousands. So for the first example, you might see, first leaf, I should say, you see a 2 and a 1, so that might make 21, but since the leaves are representing thousands, we have 21,000. The second term would be 27,000, third term would be 27,000, and 30,000, so on and so forth. And so there's 11 data values sitting here. The easiest two pieces to grab of a five-number summary are obviously going to be the minimum and maximum. The places you look are the top part in the furthest left leaf of all of those. At 21,000, that'll be your minimum. And for your maximum, you look at the bottom and you look the farthest right. In this case, it's going to be 68,000. So there's our minimum and maximum. Now, in terms of our median, in order to calculate that, you can kind of see it highlighted in bold, but remember we have 11 data values. In order to find that position, we take 11 plus 1, divide by 2. So that would be 11 plus 1 is 12, and then we take that quantity divided by 2, which would give us 6. So the location would be the sixth position, which is going to be 30,000 for our median. Now for our first and third quartile, if you recall, we look at the numbers to the left of the median for the first quartile and the numbers to the right of the median for the third quartile. So the numbers of the first quartile, let's look, we have 21,000, 27,000, 27,000, 30,000, and 30,000. So those five values, but with five values, we basically use the median formula for that. So 5 plus 1 is 6, and we divide it by 2, so it would be in the third position. So that would give us, with it being in the third position, we should have 27,000. And similarly, we can look 3 from the median on the right-hand side, and that would be 33,000. So we have it located in third and ninth spots. So 27,000 and 33,000 are our first and third quartiles. So now we have all the information in our five-number summary. Now to write it in an increasing order, keep in mind we should have written, so it goes 21,000, then 27,000, 30,000, 33,000, and then finally 68,000. That is our five-number summary. So we talked about graphing this information, and that's exactly what we're going to do. In a box and whisker plot, which we'll call from here on out a box plot for short, that's just a graph with a five-number summary where you put a box that spans Q1 and Q3. Okay. And after that, you're going to put a line in that box that marks the median, M. And then you want lines extending from the box. We often call these whiskers to the smallest and largest observations. So as you can kind of see in the graph below, what we're doing, we're basically having some sort of values appearing on the axis on our left-hand side, and then we're basically drawing a box with whiskers in the line in the middle of that box every time. So to see this in action, let's reconsider our previous example where we had the tons of bluefin tuna caught. We had our five-number summary being 21,000, 27,000, 30,000, 33,000, and 68,000. So when we piece all that together, obviously we have that box between 27,000 and 33,000, the line in the center of the box, which you see right here at 30,000, and then the whiskers extending to the small and large value. Now, the neat part about this is, even though these whiskers look extended on, especially towards the top line, a lot more than the bottom line, they're supposed to contain 25% of the data values. So in fact, even though this whisker right here and this whisker down below is actually a lot different in length, they still represent 25% of the data values. Same thing for every piece of the four sections. So you need to see the two pieces inside that rectangle there. That's also 25% for each part. So every single piece here is 25, or approximately 25%, I should say. Okay, So moving forward, let's see now if we can go on the other direction and actually take a box plot and gather some information about it. So if we wanted to find the 5-number summary associated with this following box plot, where do we go? Well, start at the bottom of the box plot and we draw the line over to our left and see what value that corresponds to. So our first value is actually going to be 10. And moving on up the list, we start now at the rectangle. Draw our line to the left once again, and we see our value is somewhere around approximately 40. So we have 40 right there. Moving to that middle line, that's representing the median now. So we already have the minimum in the first quartile. Now at the median, we end up getting right around 57 maybe. So approximately right there. And then look at our third quartile, which is the end of the rectangle here. We're probably talking about 64 or so. And then last but certainly not least, we go to that end of the whisker at the top. That's going to represent our maximum. And we're looking at about 72 or so right there. And this is how we calculate our 5-number summary when given a box plot. And obviously this is a lot easier to do than go through the calculations. So it's showing you the benefits of the graphs when it comes to graphing these quartiles and the 5-number summary altogether. Let me know if you have any questions.